Hi, ladies. Good to see you again. I hope you're all doing well and you're not going crazy. I hope you and your family are still smiling after these couple of weeks. All right, so we're going to continue with page 82 of our book. So, 82, page 82, number 1. Okay. Choose the correct alternative, in each sentence, then tick the ideas you agree with and compare answers with a partner. So again, obviously you can't compare your answers with a partner, but hopefully you can have a conversation with people at home and hopefully in Spanish, but if it can't be, hopefully in English, but if it can't be in English, then hopefully it'll give you some conversation openers. Okay. So stop the video and then come back when you're ready. Okay, number 1, I think visiting famous landmarks encourages a respectful attitude to the past, right? You are respectful towards something, and something is respected if it's towards you. Okay. 2, I believe travel is the best way to develop an awareness of other cultures. 3, I don't find the idea of luxury holidays in remote locations at all irresistible. I'd rather camp. I'd rather camp. Who says that? I don't. Give me the luxury. Give me that type of a holiday. 4, taking a selfie in a famous location is symbolic of our search for meaning in our lives. I think that could be kind of true. 5, it's always worthwhile making an effort to understand local customs and traditions. That way you appreciate the culture more, right? So it's valuable, right? It's worthwhile. It's you get something out of it, okay? And obviously worthless, there's no value in it. 6, I prefer not to eat in touristy places. I prefer restaurants where locals eat because they are more authentic. I very much agree with this. Always look for the older people when you're traveling. Always look at the older people, like people your grandparents' age, more or less, because normally they like to eat a lot and they don't like to spend a lot. Notice where they go or ask them for a recommendation. Don't follow the other tourists. 7, I always buy postcards of places I visit as a reminder of where I've been. I used to do that. And I used to send postcards all the time. Now, not so much. What about you? And 8, I think having unexpected experiences is the best thing about traveling. I think that's true. Of course, it's important to have things planned as well, because you have certain things you want to see and you probably are limited for time. So, of course, it's important to have things planned, but you also have to allow for the unexpected, because when things are unplanned, that's when the most amazing things can happen. I really believe that. Okay, look at number 2. Look at the words in italics in activity 1, right? So respectful, respected, aware, awareness, etc. And check if they have an adjective, a verb, and a noun. And think of whether they have negative forms as well, okay? So take a moment, pause the video, and come back when you're done, and we'll correct it together. Okay, welcome back. So let's go to the answers. For number 1, respect is the noun and disrespectful is the negative adjective. Okay. 2, unaware, which is the adjective, of course. 3, appeal, which is the verb. 4, you have a verb, which is familiarize, to be familiar with something. Unfamiliar, the negative adjective. And you also have unfamiliarity, which is the noun, or familiarity. Okay. Be careful with familiar. I have a lot of students who say, I have a familiar dinner tomorrow. Okay. Be careful that family and familiar, there's no real relation there. Okay. So you're translating from the Spanish. To be familiar with something is to know something or to recognize something. So imagine you see somebody on the street, and you know them, but you don't know from where or why or when. You don't know, but they are familiar to you. It's like, I recognize that person, but I don't know why. Okay. You can also be familiar with a topic. If you love, I don't know, I'll use Justin Bieber. Maybe you love Justin Bieber and you're very familiar about Justin Bieber, right? You are familiar with all the information about him, okay? Okay, so next, 5, no, a verb. Knowledgeable, adjective, and in the negative, unknowledgeable. For number 6, discover, the verb. And the adjective, excuse me, undiscovered. For number 7, there's nothing there. 8, expect is the verb. Expectant is the adjective, right? And an expectant mother, for example, right? That woman is very pregnant. She's an expectant mother, okay? I am an expectant, that's a difficult word for me, an expectant job applicant. So if you're applying for a new job or university, right, you are an expectant applicant, okay? And the negative or positive, expected, unexpected, the adjective. Okay, good. So let's move on then to activity 3, the word formation. Okay, souvenir hunting. So be honest, when you go on holiday, do you go hunting for souvenirs to buy for your friends and family wherever they are? I used to be, maybe not so much anymore. I think in the past I definitely used to be. I would purposely go searching. Now I don't purposely go searching, but I'm not searching at the same time. I think my eyes are always open for something cute or something nice, whether it's to buy for somebody else or to buy for me as a souvenir, as a reminder, right? Okay, so read the article about the souvenir hunting. Okay, think about whether you agree with what he says. And when you finish, read it again and complete the activity, the word formation, and then we will correct it together. So again, pause the video, and when you come back, we'll correct it. All right, everyone. So let's correct this together. I have to do it this way. Okay, so number 1, reminders. 2, symbolic. 3, irresistible. 4, transportable. Okay. 5, authenticity. Oh, and I'm going to have to pause 1 second, please. Okay. 6, worthless. 7, irrelevant. And 8, unexpectedly. Okay. So, looking at number 5 now. Again, you can write these answers and you can send them to me, okay? Number 1, what kind of souvenirs do you like buying for yourself or your friends? Describe the last souvenir you bought or were given. And 3, what souvenirs are typical of your country, city, region? So you can think of Spain, you can think of Lugo, you can think of Galicia. Sylvia, if you wanted, you can also think about your parents' home, right? You can think about Cuba, you can think about the city your parents are from, or you can think about the area where they're from as well if you wanted to do something different. That's up to you. Okay, let's go on to page 83. Okay, so the speaking. Now, obviously, this is not going to be your typical speaking class. So first of all, let's think of question words. When you do this part of the exam, you are obviously given pictures and you have to talk about the pictures. If you think about the question words, that could help you describe the picture. So tell me question words. What are the typical ones? Okay, think about it. I don't know if you're telling me or not. Hopefully you are. Okay, so you obviously have the typical questions that start with WH questions, and H questions, right? What, who, where, when, why, how, right? Then of course, how many, how much, things like that, how long, okay? Then all the extra questions that you can ask based on the starting question word. Okay, so look at page 83. It says work in pairs. Look at the pictures and decide what they have in common and in what way they are different. So when you do this activity, I actually want you to say it out loud, okay? Because you can learn a lot from your pronunciation, from your vocabulary as well, your intonation, when you actually say things out loud. You can also write out these answers, okay, and send them to me, and I'll correct them. Okay, and what do you think the instructions for this task might be? Any idea? Think about it, and then we'll come back and we're going to listen to the examiner's instructions and see if you were right. Okay, so welcome back. So let's listen.
Unit 8, Speaking Focus, Activity 3.
Here are your pictures. They show people on holiday buying souvenirs. I'd like you to compare 2 of the pictures and say why the people might want to buy these items and how useful each item might be as a reminder of their holiday.
Okay, so how correct were you? Did they mention any that you thought of? Okay. Then look at number 4. Add to the list of things that you can talk about with these photos. Now, let's revise the task a little bit. How many photos are you given? 3. How many photos can you talk about? Or do you have to talk about? 2. Can you choose the photos or does the examiner choose them? You choose them, okay? How long do you have to speak? Okay, so you have 1 minute to talk about the 2 photos, okay? And then you're asked a question about your partner's photos, okay? So you'll also have to do that, but there's the 2 different sections of the question that you do have a minute to talk about each. Remember, on the exam day, you have your photographs and you have the 2-parted question at the top or the bottom somewhere on the page, okay? So you don't have to worry so much about remembering what it is you have to do. You have a guide. Okay, so you're going to listen to a candidate doing the task. Does she include all of your ideas from activity 4? So remember, add to the list of things that you can talk about in these photos, okay? And write them down, and then we'll do the listening. Okay, so are you ready? Let's do the listening and see if you have come up with some of these same ideas.
In both pictures, the people are interested in buying local products or crafts, but in one picture, a man is selling typical baskets and hats from his bicycle. Whereas in the other one, the people are at an expensive airport shop, which looks as if it's mainly selling food products. I would imagine that most people who travel to a new country that they may never visit again are interested in buying souvenirs that are typical of that area. But I doubt whether most tourists actually check to see if that item is actually locally made. I think some of these things are often mass produced in countries like China. I'd be surprised if the street seller had actually made these things. It's not certain in either picture whether the people are actually going to make any purchases. I couldn't say if they're buying presents or not. Often these kinds of products are bought as gifts, but they could just be shopping for themselves. The people talking to the street seller may just want to give the man some business, and the people at the airport may just be trying to pass the time. In all likelihood, they'll buy something that will never be used and will be a waste of money.
Okay, very good. So, did you have some of the same things, same ideas? Okay, talked about a lot of good things. The one that I think is a really important one is, people tend to buy souvenirs that then what happens? They just sit there. Actually, the last time I was in Canada, I had bought this for somebody. I think it's really, really cute, actually. It's a little glass. I bought this at Niagara Falls. So it says, here we go, Canada. And we have a moose and we have a totem, right? Very typical of the north. Is that a whale? Yes, a whale. Again, very typical of the Vancouver area, the north. The totem is very popular in Vancouver as well, very common. Trees. Yeah. What else? The CN Tower. We've talked about this when we were talking about St. Giles, right? The beaver, a very noble animal. It's on some of our money. A lighthouse. Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. Have a look if you're interested. It's beautiful. Well, I've seen pictures. And yeah, so, and this. See if you can find anything online about this without me telling you the name, right? Very, very typical. It's a stone statue in the north, okay? That's your homework. Okay, so one more activity, activity 6. Choose the correct expression for speculating and then complete the sentences with your own ideas. 1. I would imagine that most people who travel to a new country, continue. I doubt whether most tourists, right? I doubt whether. It's not certain in either picture whether the people are doing this or doing that. I couldn't say if they're buying. And 5, in all likelihood, they. So continue the sentence. Send me your answers, okay? And as well, in number 7, You have pictures, right? Turn to page 137, do task 1, and turn to page 141 and do task 2. And let me just have a look at page 147. Yes, Unit 8. Okay, and you can also do the task for Unit 8 on page 147. Okay. Imagine you are traveling to Thailand. Together, choose the best souvenir to buy for grandmother, grandfather, 10-year-old sister or brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, or your boss. Okay. Again, send me those answers. And in the meantime, have a fantastic day. Talk to you soon. Bye.